All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Showdown in Little Tokyo, 1991. Giving it 5 out of 5 stars. Love this flick. This is going to be another Karate Man recommendation. Showdown in Little Tokyo. One's a warrior, one's a wise guy. They're two LA cops going after a gang of Japanese drug lords. Feet first. All right. Showdown in Little Tokyo is a 1991 U.S. buddy cop action film directed by Mark L. Lester and starring Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee. It was the latter's first U.S. film role. The film was released in the United States on August 23rd, 1991. It gained a cult following among action fans, especially for the chemistry between Lundgren and Lee. Distributed by Warner Brothers, release date August 23rd, 1991. Running time 79 minutes. Country United States. Languages English and Japanese. Budget $8 million. Box office of $2.3 million. Talk about a box office flop. This one was way bad. Los Angeles cop Chris Kinner, Dolph Lundgren, is a U.S. citizen who was raised in Japan. He is given a new partner, Johnny Murata. Brandon Lee, a U.S. citizen of partial Japanese descent. I thought he was half Chinese like my son. This movie's confusing because Tia Carrere is Filipino and she's portrayed as Japanese as well. Kenner does not appreciate U.S. culture, while Johnny does not like Japanese culture much. One thing they both enjoy are the martial arts, in which they are both experts. The two are assigned to LA's Little Tokyo, where they break up some criminal activity in a Japanese restaurant, and an arrest is made. While Kenner and Johnny are questioning the suspect, Kenner notices that he has tattoos of the Iron Claw Yakuza clan. This reminds him of when he was 9 years old and he witnessed his parents being killed by a member of the Yakuza. Before Kenner or Murata can interrogate the suspect further, he kills himself in the interrogation room by breaking his own neck. I didn't even know that was possible. The leader of the Iron Claw clan, Yoshida Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa, Yoshida kills the owner of a popular downtown nightclub called the Bonsai Club by crushing the owner, Tanaka Philip Tan, in a car compactor. To celebrate gaining ownership of the Bonsai Club, Yoshida throws a party at his house with all the club staff. Yoshida discovers that one of the girls at the party, Angel, played by Renee Griffin, had warned Tanaka about Yoshida behind his back. Yoshida summons Angel to his office to question her about her loyalty, where she attempts to appease him by offering her body to him, but Yoshida instead drugs Angel and strips off her clothes for beheading her. I don't know what she's smoking, some kind of crack pipe. When the coroner runs an analysis on Angel's body, it is revealed that the methamphetamines in her system would have led to her death anyway. Oh, it's a new kind of Japanese designer drug. You see, in 1991, the Japanese are so economically powerful that they want you to take deadly methamphetamines while you're watching the football game. This discovery of drugs, together with the suspect having Yakuza tattoos, prompts Kenner and Johnny to go back to the Bonsai Club in search of information. There they meet Angel's close friend, loud singer Manako Okoye, played by Tia Carrere, whose real name is Athea Ray Dohenio Gennaro. Yeah, she's got fake breasts. You can't really see her nipples in this one because they're tricky camera angle. It's like a side view or something. And whilst talking with Minako, Kenner and Johnny are ambushed, and they are taken to see the nightclub's owner. And Kenner recognizes Yoshida as the man who killed his parents. Yoshida is now a drug manufacturer using a local brewery as a distribution center. So he's putting the deadly methamphetamine drug in some beer bottles. He uses smaller gangs such as the Hells Angels, Crips, and Serranos to peddle the drugs for him in return for a percentage of the profit. Enraged, Kenner pulls his gun on Yoshida and almost kills him to avenge the death of his parents, but Johnny manages to defuse the situation and they both leave the nightclub. Later that night, Yoshida rapes and kidnaps Minako, off camera, of course, and holds her hostage in his home and vows to kill Kenner. Kenner and Johnny set out for Yoshida's heavily guarded home, where they rescue Minako. His pride wounded, Yoshida sends his men out to get Minako back. He has Kenner and Johnny captured, stripped topless and tortured by electrocution. However, the two manage to escape. That's a great scene. There's so many great scenes here. We've got explosions, cool fight scenes, lots of topless women. I mean, it's just relentless, this one. We like Dolph Lundgren on this channel. They prepare for an assault on Yoshida's brewery, well, where they rescue Minako once again. They chase Yoshida down to a parade being held in the middle of the city, where he and Kenner engage in a modern-day samurai-like sword deal. The fight ends with Kenner overpowering Yoshida and impaling him through the abdomen before throwing him into a giant spinning Catherine wheel firework display, which burns Yoshida alive before exploding and killing him. Another great scene. Lester says the film was taken over by the studio and recut without his involvement. Warner Brothers was not happy with the film, and they re-edited it only to give it a limited theatrical run in the United States, Mexico, Australia, France, where it skipped Paris, Italy, Israel, and Hungary. Except for these markets, the film was released direct-to-video in 1992. In the U.S. opening weekend, the film grossed $455,192 from 140 theaters, which was an average of $3,251 per theater. This accounted for 20% of the film's total gross. It ranked number 9 in Hungary's top 10 of 1992 overall box office grosses, according to the 1994 Variety International Film Guide, grossing $197,590 in Hungary after Brandon Lee's untimely death while filming The Crow, Movies with Lee in leading roles, such as Showdown and Little Tokyo, saw a surge in video sales. The film became a cult classic among action fans after its release. Director Marka O. Lester said, I was going for exaggerated reality, kind of pop art thing or a comic book. But Warner took about 10 minutes out of the film, which were pretty good, actually. They changed it all around. They didn't do a big release, but I guess people liked it. Brandon Lee was also very fond of the movie. I didn't have a lot of input into it. It was really just a job for me, but it was a good experience. The film faced largely negative reviews from critics. Vincent Canby of the New York Times described it as violent but spiritless. It holds a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes based on 9 reviews with an average score of 4.3 out of 10. I'm rating it 10 out of 10. Upon its 2015 DVD release, DVD Talk reviewer Ian Jane wrote that it was a shallow but highly enjoyable action film of its time. He found it fast-paced, action-packed, and funny. He felt that it had good photography, nice locations, and that Brandon Lee shined in his role. Brandon Lee's lines in this movie are so inane and ridiculous. It's one of those so bad that it's good type films, in my opinion. Contemporary critic Chris Koffel of Bloody Disgusting praised it for being a well-made action film of his time and that both leads deliver their roles well. He also praised the lead villain, Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa. Finally, he felt the movie fell flat on the humorous side of things, but was great fun for its genre. Yeah, the Brandon Lee dialogue is not funny, but it's kind of unintentionally funny in a way. I don't know how to I don't know how to describe it. It's like watching an Ed Wood film and you go, "Oh yeah, that didn't come off well, but it was unintentionally funny." On JoeBlow.com, writer Chris Bumbray considers it to be an underrated gem and a cult classic. He thinks that Lee steals the show from Lundgren and that the film showcases the range of the early departed actor. His final thought was that it was a fun B actioner. I don't know about praising Brandon Lee's performance in this one. I think he was better in The Crow, honestly, but still a great flick. Highly recommended. Check it out. 5 out of 5 stars. One of Dolph Lundgren's best, as well as Brandon Lee's best. Extremely underrated buddy cop action cult classic. Still got this on DVD. Even this is one of Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa's best roles as Yoshida. He's always great at playing villains that are sadistic. Yeah, he's got a scar on his face. He looks pretty mean in this one. But watching it now is a little unbelievable that Japan is going to take over the economy by pushing methamphetamines in your beer while you're watching the football game. All right, I'm trying to upload IMDb and it's taking forever. Here we go. Gets a pretty decent 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. 21,000 ratings. Pretty, it was a financial flop, but a lot of people know about it. I think it got a cult following after Brandon Lee died. That's what happened. 2 LA cops with opposing views on what is the best way to uphold the law have to work together to bring down Yakuza while trying to protect a beautiful woman with fake breasts who's not Japanese. Karate Man's imaginary girlfriend. All right. More like this. Oh. IMDb is being naughty with me today. All right. We've got Rapid Fire, Laser Mission. I want to see Brandon Lee in Laser Mission. Now that looks like something worth checking out. Then you've got Red Scorpion and Legacy of Rage. All Lee stuff except for Red Scorpion, maybe? I don't know. I definitely want to check out Laser Mission, though. After being disappointed by the studio taking over his film, director Mark L. Lester started to finance and sell his movies himself to keep control over them. Yeah, they cut out 10 minutes. Just think how much better this movie could have been if Mark L. Lester was allowed to edit his own film. I think that was one of the chief complaints of the Caligula director. What was his name? All right. Caligula. Tinto Brass, that's his name. Tinto Brass has the same complaint about Caligula. He didn't get to edit his film. That's a real bummer to these guys. I mean, they think directing and editing are the same exact thing. Showdown and Little Tokyo should have been gotten sequels like many other buddy cop action movies. I don't know. Brandon Lee died in 1994. How could they make a sequel? Come on. All right. One of Yoshida's henchmen is captured by Kenner, and he breaks his own neck in the police precinct. He's later seen in the room with Yoshida when he kills Angel, and also during the bathhouse fight. How did that happen? I thought that was a little strange, a guy breaking his own neck. But I didn't recognize him in the bathhouse. A bunch of naked Japanese guys. Why do Japanese like to sit in a hot tub all day long? I don't get it. And why do Japanese like to drink beer? I think they live long though if they eat lots of fish and seaweed. All right. Johnny, here are some quotes. Johnny Murata says, Kenner, just in case we get killed, I want to tell you, you have the biggest ding-a-ling I've seen on a man. This is kind of ridiculous dialogue from the film. It's so bad that it's good. And then Chris Jenner nods and says, thanks, I don't know what to say. Johnny Murata says, how about don't get killed? Chris Kenner says, don't get killed. Johnny Murata says, you too. So how does he know about this guy's dingling size? Because he just slept with Tia Carrere. I mean, was he peeping on him, or what was going on there? I'm a little confused. The German version was heavily cut. All other, oh man, this IMDb is starting to irritate me. Sorry, IMDb has a mind of its own. Keeps reloading and going to different pages. This website sucks. David Michael Frank did the music. He has done so many action movie scores, such as 3 Steven Seagal movies: Above the Law, Hard to Kill, and Out for Justice. Oh yeah. Should I put his name in the description? Is it really necessary? David Michael Frank. All right. So IMDb is not working at all. I don't know what's going on, but maybe if I reopen it. All right, let's try this again. So notice how the rating is much higher on IMDb compared to Rotten Tomatoes. Why does anybody use Rotten Tomatoes? All right, here we go. The German version was heavily cut. All other European versions are based on the unrated version of the film. There is a new unrated German home video, including Blu-ray. That's exciting. Is that the version that I watched on YouTube? I think mine was only 1 hour 30 something. Oh yeah, it was. I got the uncut version. Cool, man. No, I didn't. I got the 1 hour 19 minutes version. Sucks. Featured in the 66th Annual Academy Awards from 1994. Soundtrack Slow Hand, written by John Bettis and Michael Clark, performed by Tia Carrere. So Tia Carrere is in the soundtrack. All right. Here's a review from Albentenho, April 13th, 2022. The title of the IMDb review is Cult Classic starring Dolph and Brandon. No rating on this one. Macho B movie madness at its sublime best. This crazy action quickie is about as brain dead as you can get. Wooden acting, terrible story, and a script that truly sucks. But with all the mindless violence on offer, who really cares? My sentiments exactly. Gun battles, martial arts, samurai sword slashing, and gory deaths are the order of the day, not to mention plenty of beautiful ladies treated like playthings and shedding clothes at every opportunity. My sentiments exactly. Despite the tea and guns, despite the boobies and guns, there is some kind of story. Kenner Lundgren is on a mission of vengeance. His parents were killed when he was ickle by crazy Yakuza thug Yoshida Tagawa, an ice-cool supervillain now specializing in drug dealing and generally looking mean. Kenner, adept in the samurai ways, grows to be a law-abiding copper who's now right on his tail. Male bonding ensues when policeman Johnny Murata, Lee in his U.S. debut, a hip-talking dude with street credentials, is assigned as Kenner's partner in crime, and all hell simply breaks loose. You could say that there's an artistic angle to all this fighting, shooting, and banging, but then that would be a lie. Showdown in Little Tokyo is a classic in a completely different sense of the word. So Karate Man's going on and on about this David Michael Frank dude, all of his accomplishments and guitar work for action-esque music in movies. Okay, that's interesting trivia. I don't know if I want to go back and list all of those, but I'll try. Let's see. Is it going to let me copy all this stuff? Blank document. Let's start a new letter and we'll just copy everything that Karate Man just told me about the music in these action movies that he's crazy about. Uh, that's not what I wanted. It's got all this. I thought I was getting a blank letter. Give me all this. I don't know. Well, that didn't go well. Movies list. Shall we go down my movies list? About to cook some steak. I added a bunch of war movies from my church friend. I've got Sitting Pretty. Oh, I got Trump versus the Illuminati on here. All right. So first on the list is The War of the Worlds, 1953, followed by Rapid Fire, 1992, and Creature from the Black Lagoon, 1954. we like Gerald. We like Gerald Okamura. This one. He ends up getting electrocuted somehow. I don't know how it happened, but he just Dan Lundgren took his head and he just went bzzz, like that. Anyways, I don't want a template. I just want a blank document. All right. So thanks for coming into the chat room, Karate Man. Better late than never. Not that you particularly care for the day the earth stood still, but in any case, I do have one of your recommendations here on my list. Rapid Fire. I'll probably get to it next week at the rate I'm going. Took a 3-hour nap, and then my church friend wanted to recommend all these 1940s, 1950s movies. All right. Well, Not letting me copy and paste now. Ah, okay. So I've got all those movies that David Michael Frank did. I'll go ahead and correct that. I guess the final fight scene is cool as well as the parade. Yeah, I like the ending. Even the characters when they meet during sushi restaurant action scene, they say, "Police, drop it." Then they team up. Yeah, pretty cool film. We like Dolph Lundgren on this channel. We'll check out that Brandon Lee obscurity that I mentioned earlier. I'll try to update the music section to include Tia Carrere and David Michael Frank. So that's next on my list of things to do while I'm firing up another New York steak on the cast iron skillet later.